So what is Pastor Mattie Ice? Well, it's the YouTube channel that you're watching right now. But it's so much more than that, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. But before we talk about that, I wanted to say that this video was specifically requested by one of my friends in Indiana. I mean, he would be her friend too, if they've ever met, and when they do meet, I'm sure they will be, because he's a super nice guy. He has ministries in Indiana, and he said, hey, could you make a video about your ministry, Pastor Mattie Ice, and Running Water Events, and what you do and what you hope to accomplish through those? So we said, of course!
So if you want us to make a video for you about something specific, just let us know and we'll see what we can do.
Yep. There are places to comment below. There's an email address in the About section. We'd love to talk with you if you have a specific question about what we do, who we are, or what we know, which sometimes we don't know. Hey, what up? I'm Pastor Mattie Ice, and this is my wife, Victoria.
And we love water.
Our dog is water, the ocean in Saipan is water, and people around the world drink water. So go on an adventure with us
By hitting that subscribe button.
as we make a splash around the world. So what is Pastor Mattie Ice?
Who is Pastor Mattie Ice?
Well, I mean, yes, in our videos I say, what up everybody, I'm Pastor Mattie Ice. And in this intro video is that I'm Pastor Mattie Ice.
And I'm Victoria.
And at the end of all our videos I say, well, I'm Pastor Mattie Ice.
And I'm Victoria.
So yes, the who, Pastor Mattie Ice. But it's more than that. What is, it's our channel. It's, you know, what we hope to accomplish. See, almost last year in February, almost a year ago, we were up top there at this thing called the Marianas Festival of Hope. And right now, actually, here at the amphitheater, they're continuing to work on what they've been working on for the past few months here at American Memorial Park on the island of Saipan. And so if there's noise in the background, that's what it is. And on that day, there was a lot of noise. There were thousands of people.
So many people. They were all out here and out there and up there.
All over to see this guy, Franklin Graham from Samaritan's Purse, and that partnership was great in and of itself. But anyway, we were sitting here and we had the opportunity to drive some of the performers around. And at that time, we had been working on a video for our social, or our Facebook page, Running Water Events. And it was called Vicarious Vacation. And we also had planned to work on another series called Welcome to Our House, which we
made a
did.
beach house.
We made a beach house. And so we were working on these things and we knew that we should make videos, but we were just going to make them for our Running Water Events page. And it was that night and the events around that and the, you know, efforts and the thought, the prayer leading up to that night that we were like, oh, we should just make YouTube videos. We still have our social media accounts like Facebook and Instagram. Check that out, Running Water Events. Facebook, Instagram's Pastor Mattie Ice, Twitter's Pastor Mattie Ice. You can check those out. But on that night, we're like, oh, let's make a YouTube channel where we post about the island of Saipan and about adventure and about being healthy on the adventure. And that's what we started to do then. Last March is when we started to do it, and then we continued on. And so even though the other noise was going on, we started posting. Now, we started posting to a channel that already had 12 subscribers for. Like, whoa, big time. See, when I was in Evansville, I had started making videos with now our dog, Water. And so I was like, Pastor Mattie Ice, she's Water. And so they were just little quick videos. I think a couple of them are still on this channel. You can watch those if you want. You might want to turn down the sound. It's like really, really bad. But I was like, okay, let's just use this channel. That's what my PlayStation name is. And I like to play. I had a lot of friends in the PlayStation world playing a game, NBA 2K, and you know, we have a motto for the Pastor Mattie Ice. So it's like, let's just keep this channel, not because it's me, I'm just Matt, you know, Pastor Matt, whatever, but it's like, this is who we can be. And we'll get to that in the end of this video, so stay around for what our tagline is and how we really bring it home and what Pastor Mattie Ice really is. But first I want to talk more about water. See, Running Water Events, our dog's name is Water. Why would I name her Water?
Because everybody wants clean running water inside.
It's not really funny, is it? I thought it was funny, so I came up with that joke. And she's hypoallergenic, so clean. She's going to be a running dog, so running. and she's inside, and I named her Water. Well, we were on one of our several runs. We ran, 20 plus miles a week, and we were on a 6-mile run like usual. And at the time, the denomination that we're still partnered with, and I was pastoring a church for at the time, General Baptist, they were raising money for clean running water projects around the world, for wells in India, but also filters to send in developing countries. And I was like, here, I have a cute golden doodle named Water. Everyone loves her. And she's a running dog. And why can't we raise money? Like, it's not a joking matter. Somebody said at a meeting I was at, they were like, you'd be a moron not to want to help people get clean water. And I'm like, yeah, I have been. So, and since Water is cute, we put her face on a shirt, and I put her face on a water bottle, and I'm like,
sticker?
And not yet.
Oh.
So then I started selling these shirts, and people bought them, and we raised enough money for a well. And then I was like, what? And okay, in case you don't know, at that point I had a flip phone. Yeah, so I had to like take pictures of Water and send it to someone else who, it was bad. Okay, so in ministry, the thought is, how can we use our skills and our abilities to benefit God? But in this moment, it was like, how can God use me despite my skills and abilities? Like, I had a flip phone. I was afraid of the internet. I was that typical. I had a dog, and I was a pastor, and that's what I use a lot. And as a result, we raised enough money for one well in India, and then I moved over here. But before I moved over here, the day before I moved over here,
we met at the market where I was selling my watercolor paintings, which is pretty cool that I paint with watercolor and that we raise money for water and our dog's name is Water. So God has things kind of planned out before we know about them. So now we can, use watercolor paintings to help raise money as well, or do all sorts of different things with them.
You might see some of them in our videos. She's had those. I'm like, let's put some of those paintings on a shirt or on a hat, because I put my dog's face on a shirt and raised money. It's
People
like
bought it.
People bought it, and so let's do that for paintings. Let's just keep going. And so that takes us to the next thing about one of our taglines is make a difference with what you have, with who you have, where you are. Just make a difference. So obviously now we're on the island of Saipan. We're going to make adventure videos here on the island of Saipan. But when we went home over the summer to get married, it's like, well, we're here, so we're going to travel and we're going to raise money. And we raised enough money for 2 wells in India, just driving around again with our dog, chilling in the back. And it's just make a difference with what you have. We had an SUV that we could fit t-shirts in, that we bought more t-shirts for, and at this point we bought stickers.
We did.
And then, we had some shells from here and made some chessboards that we could sell or donate or whatever, and we just had different things to help us raise money. We made a difference by just using who we were and what we had and our passion. We just drove around to different churches, and it was really cool. And again, it all goes back to meeting her the day before I came over here. I was going to come over here and teach Bible and PE and just make videos, have fun, and then met her, and then she got a job
Here. It's crazy.
Right. She came over here to visit me during Christmas, and they're like, hey,
You want a job at the college? Which is pretty cool. Before that, I'd been teaching adjunct, and so you don't make much money, still living at home. Grateful that I love my family as much as I do, and they love me. But yeah, then I get to come over here and actually have a full-time job.
But get this. She comes over here for vacation, they offer her a job, and then what does she do?
I went home for 9 days and then came back.
So it's about being prepared and making a difference and saying, okay, I found out about Saipan, 7 years ago or something, but I found out about this position again in, I think it was like April or probably closer to May, and then I moved over here in July. And it was like, okay, I'm ready to go. But it still went along with what we were already doing. And we already wanted to teach. We already wanted to travel. And we had both wanted to make YouTube videos for a long time. And we just hadn't done it, I remember with my friend on cassette, the rolling tape, VHS tapes, making videos with them when I was 15 and 16 years old. It's like I've always wanted to make videos. I remember the person I make this video for right now. I would disrupt what he was doing, making videos in my college dorm when we were roommates. Like, I've just been making videos for a long time, even when they were super bad. Again, I wouldn't go watch the beginning ones. But that's just what we do. Make a difference however we can. Try the best you can with what you have. That's the definition of excellence, by the way. So, that's what Running Water Events is. That's make a difference. But we have one other tagline that we finish all of our videos. So if you made it this far, that means that we're almost done with the video. And that tagline is...
Stay chill and float on.
So what does that mean? Well, ultimately I just said it because I'm Pastor Mattie Ice, stay chill, and water's name is water. So float on. But then it actually works because one of my favorite Bible characters is Peter. And if you know anything about Peter, he was really ambitious and really gung-ho and wanted to go after and do things. And in one particular instance, there was a storm, and Jesus is walking on the water, and the boys, that's what I refer to the disciples as, they're in the boat, and then Peter looks at Jesus, and he says,
"What?
Can I float too? What is happening here?" And Jesus says, and I quote, "Get out the boat and float it." Okay, maybe that's not a direct quote, but he said, "Come on then, let's go." So Peter says, "Okay." So he gets out of the boat and looks right at Jesus and starts to walk. But when he starts to look away and see the storm, when he starts to look away, let's go back to the very beginning. When he starts to look away and hear the other noise of what's going on, he can't really focus on Jesus anymore. And he got distracted, and then he starts to sing, and then Jesus helps him, puts him back in the boat, and says, "Clap twice, storm gone." Jesus, he likes to calm storms like that, So the stay chill and float on simply means don't worry about what's going on around you and float on. Another biblical passage that I love is in Exodus chapter 2 when it talks about Moses' mom putting him in the water and floating him down the Nile despite that, here comes alligators and here comes bad news and here comes the king gonna kill him and all this stuff, bad news. And the one person in the entire Egypt who can save him is Pharaoh's cute little daughter who's gonna be like, "Daddy, can we keep him?" And he's like, "Yes, of course we can, honey." But anybody else, if any of the soldiers find him, any of the other Hebrews who had also had to kill their sons, if anyone finds Moses other than Pharaoh's daughter, he gone. But who finds him? Of course, because Moses' mom stayed chill and just floated down. And that's another part of our channel, the Pastor Mattie Ice channel. See, when I was moving over here to Saipan, I'm like, what's going to happen to water? But just don't worry about it. And so we can still make cool, creative videos. She over there, us over here. When we went home, she came up, jumped right on us, got back in the back of the SUV and went wherever we wanted to go with her. And she just did her thing. She did all the tricks that I usually do with her. She has 2 tricks, by the way. She can be held and she can hold things. And it ties into our mission and use what we have. So water, she'll just lay in my arms and just like that for as long as I can hold her. And then she will also sit there with a piece of food on her nose for as long as she can hold it. I tried it one time and a few years ago, or when I first got her, and it was 10 minutes. And we tried it again over the summer, and she dropped it one time in the time of 9 minutes. So she's pretty good at that trick. And it just ties into we need to be able to be held by our Creator, by our Maker, and we need to be able to hold up other people, and we need to do things for other people. And it all goes back to, I was a pastor with a flip phone who had a dog. And I said, "God, how can you use me?" And he said, "Well, here's how. Use that dog to raise money." What? I call her our associate pastor, our associate pastor Water, because that's what she is. She helps minister, and in the future we plan to get another dog named Wells. See, Water was a therapy dog school dropout, because I came over here. She probably would have passed, but she was a dropout. But Wells, he'll be a therapy dog, and he'll be able to be an addition to our ministry and go to different places such as nursing homes and schools and libraries, jails, prisons, wherever, because he'll be hypoallergenic and a certified therapy dog, and he will be that associate pastor. And we like to just be creative. How can we make a difference with what we have? How can we walk an entire length of the island, which is 15 miles, to take 6 hours to make a video to help raise money for hurricane relief in Honduras and Philippines and other places around the world. If you want to see that video, or the link will be in the description below, because that's what we do. And we're starting to work on a documentary project called Shells for Wells. How can we use shells to raise money for wells in India? And like we said, we did that over the summer. So just be creative. If you have a dog, use the dog.
If you have a talent like painting or sculpting, maybe you run, maybe you can play football, maybe you like, I don't know what you like to do, but you can do
You
something.
do, right? She bakes. We have another one of our numerically large videos was our virtual retirement party, where we made food and then had a virtual retirement party, because at the time the rest of the world couldn't gather together, but we could, because we didn't have anything keeping us from here, and because we're on an island, and at the time it was good to go, so we could do that, and we did. And she baked the food and we had it. And
Simple as that.
simple as that. Paint, bake, go for
Use
a run.
what you have.
Yeah, that's the whole make a difference with what you have, who you are, where you are. One last thing. One of the churches we visited over the summer, the lady said, hey, I can bake stuff. And so she did, and then she sold those cakes and raised, I don't even know how much, over $100 just by baking cakes and selling them. And just because we were there, and she's like, hey, if you guys can use shells on a dog to raise money, I can use my talents. So what are your talents? Maybe your passion isn't to raise money for clean water projects. I don't know. Maybe there's something else in your life where you're like, I'd be a moron not to do that, not to fight for that. And if God's calling you to do that, whatever time it is, do it. You know, like for me, I had 2 months to prepare. For her, she had, right? Do it right when He asks you to do it. And that's the part of staying chill, floating on, pointing back to Jesus the whole time. Hopefully you, if you were the one who asked me to do this, enjoyed this video. Again, if you want to see a specific video from us, you need to ask us. And
Otherwise, we won't know.
We won't, and we'll just keep making our videos. And you can find those by
Subscribing, hitting the like button if you like this video, and then,
hanging
links
out with us.
below.
Yeah, always ring that bell too. We don't often say it. We post 4 times a week currently. We might change that later, but currently we post 4 times a week because we focus on being healthy emotionally, relationally, physically, and spiritually. And those are the 4 videos we post every week. So we have a playlist about a little each day.
Goes a long way.
And that's our physical workout. We read the Bible all over the island here, entire books of the New Testament specifically, because they're a little shorter. And then we just have funny videos and adventure videos and stuff. So hang out with us in those. Thanks for watching this. Hopefully you found out a little bit more about what Pastor Mattie Ice is. Not who, because I'm just a guy named Matt who spells his name with 1 T, right? And this is Victoria. So we're Pastor Mattie Ice. Stay chill and float on. In a video, so that's what this video is.
I had it and I completely. If you want to ask
Yeah.
us to make a video. So I was like, subscribe. Like, links below.